go, guys. Everybody's asking. They want to see the difference in a stock Pro R versus my car. So I'm running the F35s, no two-step. Also, I'm only on stage 3, so this isn't the fastest this car goes, but it'll get up and go at this point. So here we go against a brand new stock Pro R.
Almost had you.
Joe just added again the belt slayer this weekend.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go over belts, and the reason being I have a lot of people ask me all these questions about belts. Also got quite a few friends that have went and got a Pro AFI turbo kit, or we got Joe over here with his Wise Tech kit, and they always come to me and like, dude, I'm going through belts, and they act like it's the end of the world. And I'm gonna be really frank with you. If you're gonna boost your Pro R, you're gonna start to go through belts. You're doubling, tripling. In this scenario, you know, you're tripling your horsepower. You're gonna go through belts. I don't care what clutch guy has oversold the snot out of it and said he's not gonna go through belts, and the belts are never gonna break. You're gonna go through belts if you're gonna triple your horsepower. That's a given. So we're gonna kind of go over a few things of what breaks belts. If you don't wanna break belts, what are some of the reasons why you break belts? Sometimes you tripled your horsepower. Sometimes maybe you don't have your car aligned right.
Least amount of drag, better.
Yeah. But also adding some power, you're gonna go through some belts. And then Joe, what happened yesterday? What belt did you buy?
I bought a OEM belt off of Amazon that got next day delivery, and brand new. First ride, the boat exploded. It was just knots. Looked like I was on a fishing trip and got in a bird's nest inside my clutch. So
we're pretty sure you didn't get an OEM belt. That's our point to that one.
Beware.
So we've all tried OEM belts that are not OEM, haven't you, Justin?
No, but I've tried every belt on the market. All the G Boost, all the Evo belts. I mean, anything you can put on these cars, I've tried.
Did it help any?
No, I think belt manufacturers make belts that are usually kind of the same, but they break different. That's my biggest thing, is they break in different. Some explode and just shrapnel, some just spaghetti and wrap around your clutch, which is a nightmare to get off.
Yeah.
It takes a belt change from, like, you know, like a normal 2-3 minute belt change into like 20 minutes. You might as well grab a beer. So Polaris belts, factory belts, hold up the longest, especially during long, hard dunes. The heat they take, and the power. They take the power.
Yeah,
that's all I can say about
That's all we run as OEM. I'm actually testing a all balls belt this weekend once this belt goes that I have on mine. And shockingly, I thought this belt would have went Saturday. We're now into Monday, and the belt's still alive. So I don't know. I'm not putting the belt on it. I'm not like Justin. Justin's a little bit more OCD, and he cares a little bit more. He doesn't want to be the guy that breaks a belt in the middle of the ride. I just don't know how long that belt will last. I would rather I got just magically 2 days out of this belt that started squealing 2 days ago. Yeah. And we're still going. So I'm just gonna wait because I don't like spending money on belts for no reason. But there is one thing that me and Justin kind of figured out at the end of our Glamis season, and it was the clutches. Everyone knows your clutch is gonna wear out over time, right? Well, me and Justin at kind of the same time, we were just, it just felt like we were just chewing them up.
2 a day.
Yeah, well, 2 a day maybe exaggeration, but but we were going through them a lot, and Justin was having a meltdown over it. I was like, dude, it is what it is. You got 100 grand in your car. Who cares about the $200? He's like, dude, it's too much. And then I was starting to go through them a lot, and then we started looking at our clutches. We were filling the grooves, and our grooves were pretty extreme, we thought. Well, not that bad, but they were starting to get pretty worn. And then we both swapped our clutch plates. Boom. Now we're not going through belts. So that's kind of a give and take. Like, how long do you wait till you swap the belt or the clutches, the clutch plates before, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no, 100%. If you smoke a belt getting it in and out of the trailer, make sure you're in 4-wheel drive low.
Yeah.
Obviously that helps. If you're rock crawling, make sure you're in low. Don't come out here and go in low because you'll just get it hot. But yeah, I mean, everything, if your clutch is aligned and your clutch is good and it's not grooved out, each belt has a certain curve and taper to it that usually, if it's done right, will align right with your belt. And if it's not, you'll have odd wear on one side or the other. And when you pull a belt off, whether it blew or not, you'll be able to see on that glazing or a line where the thread's coming out. So
have you noticed even on the inners, they'll do the billet inner sheath on there. Are those still getting grooved out too, or is it the OEM ones having issues with it, or aftermarket's having issues too?
I think it's the clutch that's grooving it out because it's wearing hot on one side or the other. And that's why when you do change your belt, if you do pull your secondary or primary bolt out, make sure those shims that are in there, you have to put those back in order. Don't just willy-nilly it and do it and just hope for the best. Those are there for a reason, and every single tiny 32nd, 64th of an inch matters for sure.
And then a few other things, like we've rode with a few guys that are like, dude, they're going through belts and they're like, the clutch, you know, it's a new car, this or that, and they're going through belts and we're trying to figure it out. And then you go ride with them and it's like, dude, your rear end came off the ground and you stayed on the throttle.
Through a 200-foot roost.
Like,
you're lucky you didn't break an axle.
You're lucky the axles are there. You're lucky that your dampener's there. I mean, most of my failures so a lot of people are like, dude, your car is always getting broke down. And I would say, I would blame 50% of it is my wheeling.
100%. I'd blame 50% of it as 100%.
Yep. A lot of it. Maybe more than 50% of my breakdowns has been from wheeling. And it's not like standing it up, like, why is that breaking? It's when you're on a 4-seater, you need a ton of power and you need to be in the power. And if that rear end tire unloads or actually leaves the ground and you stay in it, boom. The second you hit, all that load hits, things are going to break, whether that's axles, belts, or dampeners, a few other things, trannies.
They don't like being shock loaded.
Yeah,
they don't
that big load.
Things.
So that's the same thing with the belts. Like, even if like you're on a stock car or you have a, you know, let's just say one of these entry level kits out there, if you are loading, like getting unloaded and then loading it up, belts are gonna snap.
100%.
And pray that the belts snap, because you don't want the other stuff to snap. Also, I wanted to touch up on axles. A lot of people think that I need to go get a stronger axle. To be honest, this sounds crazy, but the OEM axles are amazing. We've all seen my White Lightning just run through the whoops multiple times on power. I've only snapped the axles one time. If anything, I would rather the axles be a hair weaker so that other stuff like on the internals, such as the transmission and the dampener, wouldn't break. I'd rather the axle break. To me, it's a cheaper part and it's easier to fix. It's something that's going to be in stock at Glamis, or should be in stock at, you know, a dealership next to St. Anthony or Coos Bay or wherever you're going. A local dealership should have an axle in stock, especially for like a Pro R or a Mavar, because those go out left and right. But those are a couple of things I kind of want to touch on. I would not actually go. I've tried I've had some friends try the aftermarket axles. They didn't seem to honestly hold up a whole lot better. And like I say, I'd rather have the axle break before the other bigger parts. So something to kind of think of as you build your car up and make it stronger. Then it's just going to follow the next weak point. And that's why I'm not a big believer in just building everything up to the 9s, unless, you know, you're going to go do the Baja 1000 and you're just trying to make the whole entire car bulletproof. I'd rather swap out a belt, and then after that, I'd rather swap out an axle. So I kind of like the failing points, the weakest points in the car, being the easier parts that are the cheapest parts to fix, in my opinion.
Well, and let's be honest, if you're swapping your clutches out we swap our clutches after every season. It's just a wearable part when you ride hard. That's all there is to it. So you build a $100,000 car, you can't complain about an $800 clutch. And you don't even have to replace the whole clutch. Just have it sheathed and milled or whatever they do to it. So have a spare clutch if you're complaining about belt breaking. Have spare belts. Don't cheap out. Buy a factory belt.
Yeah.
You won't regret it.
Yeah. Don't get these lifetime warranty belts.
There's no lifetime warranty.
Well, I made it from we're right here next to Craples. Well, everyone calls it Thunder. The locals call it Craples. To choke, dune ride only. Belt was gone. Aftermarket is some other brand round belt, and I don't even know what it was, and I'm not going to tell you because I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
Yeah. And even when you do break a belt, right? It's a wearable part. I mean, I swap them after every trip in Glamis, and yeah, sure, there's a belt in the garage that's sitting there with 100 miles on it, but it's been rode hard and put away wet. So yeah, it's not worth me breaking a belt on a ride and destroying something in the car, plastic, clutch housing, or anything, or even a wire. As you know, in these Pro Rs, if you don't have that vent on the side of the driver's side, it will hit a wire. I've hit a wire before.
Yep, I've hit them twice. Jared's had to fix them from Bikeman twice. Luckily, he was with me every time, and he knows a lot. He had the tools and knows better about the wiring. Also, like he was just saying, other stuff does break, so it is good to be a little bit doing it in advance, because like my black plastics that go around both sides, I just replaced all of them because I'd had so many belts just explode, and when they explode, they just start breaking stuff, and started wearing a little crack here and a crack there, and before I knew it, just everything was just getting catered after a belt blow. Yeah. So when you got the big power, it's not just, oh, the belt snapped and it's kind of in there making some sound. It's usually an explosion, and there's just little pieces and dust and fragments.
Yeah, 100%.
And I actually like that because I don't want to have to clean it.
Yeah, less clean. You got to pick up the shrapnel on the sand.
Finding the shrapnel is the only problem, but that's about it.
But the spaghetti mess is a nightmare. It's hot. I mean, it just takes for a while. Everybody's got to loop back around. It's inconvenient, but it happens. I mean, nobody's perfect.
Just part of it. But that's just part of belts. Like, don't lose your mind. If you're gonna boost your car, don't lose your mind that you blew a belt. And I'm sure some people are gonna be like, oh, I want to blow a belt. Okay, you've been taking it easy. Good for you. I've also had a lot of people say, I've never blown a belt, and then come to find out they're doing what Justin does, which after every ride they're swapping a belt.
But even I blow them in the middle of a dune session. And if you haven't blown a belt in 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 miles, you're not hitting the brakes at the top of a hill. Let's just be honest. Yeah. You don't have big power. Sorry. Not to hurt your feelings. It is what it is.
Or you're just not running it hard, you know. I don't care how fancy you think your clutch is or this or that. Yep. You're gonna go through some belts here and there. But hopefully some of these things will help you to understand getting into boosted, what's gonna happen, and also some things that you can do to make sure that you don't blow belts.
They say buying the car is the cheapest part, right?
Well, I'd say beginner pro tip, don't make your first belt swap in the middle of the dunes under duress with a group.
Yes.
Staring at you.
Know how to do it. Yes. Open it up. Understand your car before you hit the dunes. Make sure you have the right tools, easy tools, gloves.
These guys are good about the gloves. I always forget about that, and then I'm like, oh, can I borrow your gloves?
Because you'll be in full-blown panic mode when you're the one guy with 15 people, you've never changed your belt, and you're hoping someone comes help you.
Yeah.
Don't be that
praying.
guy.
Yeah.
Good stories happen, just like good campfire stories, good belt change stories.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Or girl.
At least know how to change your belt and have the tools.
Chloe blew a belt. What happened when you blew your belt?
Dad?
Just sending it too hard or what?
Yeah, and then everyone had to turn around and help me.
Exactly, and it's
not a big deal though.
That's an RS1 stock clutch, stock everything, and it happens. She rides hard, she hangs with the boys, and it just happens. So
that was holiday weekend sand drags Glamis.
That was when she blew it in Glamis. Yeah, she blew one here 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And we were actually probably coming off of that big dune right there. And if you know, you know. It's scary when it happens, but coast to a stop.
And we got to give Chloe over here in the RS1. She's 14 and she's doing the Ridge Runner on here. How many people, Justin, have just like bailed on our rides because we started Ridge running?
Quite more than I thought. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And then it also
and Chloe's just like, I got this.
Yeah, as long as she has as long as she can stay in it and get the right line, she'll Ridge run it for sure.
I've been threatened. Justin told me a couple times, you can't do the double backs because the RS1 just doesn't have the power for the double go back and forth on the ridges, because I just try to ridge run it the whole way as much as possible. Sometimes I get a little excessive. Gotta bring it back. RS1 does not have the 500 plus power with the F35s.
Wait, this whole time? I thought you were 299.
I mean, 299.
Yeah. Yes. This whole time?
Oh, shoot. Cat out of the bag.
So cat's out of the bag. Every car blows belts. Just take precaution. They're wearable parts.
And don't lose your mind. Like I've had some people, they almost are melting down because they feel bad that we had to loop around. It's not the end of the world. We're out here to have fun and ride. We can swap your belt. It's 15 minutes. We're going.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I don't
What do you
know.
think,
Let's
little man? You want to go dune?
Gax? You want to go dune?
All right,
do
we're
it.
doing.
Go.
All